Next scene of this over-dramatic chapter. As Dethium fought the spider, its friend came over to help out. Dethium smiled. This just gets better and better. Dethium did a backflip as both spiders lunged at her. Whoa! Everyone else said, except for Xanna, Cosmo, and Mittens. Xanna was still traumatized. Cosmo was trying to comfort her, and Mittens can't talk. Meow! Dethium, the amazing undead rogue girl, began to throw daggers at the spiders. Good thing I always carry spares. The spiders screeched in pain when the daggers hit them. They tried to shake them out, but it was useless. Those daggers were so deep, they were through their skulls, doing a lot of damage to their brains. The next thing Dethium did was slowly walk up to the spiders so she could finish them off. They backed away, wobbling as they did because of the daggers implanted in their heads. Dethium ran after them and tackled one. She sat on its back and cut its head off. After doing that, she looked at the other one. It was staring at its dead friend, and it looked like it was crying. Dethium smiled wickedly. You're next, pal. The Black Widow hatchling backed away slowly and screeched to the top of its lungs, Skitter, skitter! Skitter, skitter! Dethium laughed and walked toward it. Not gonna work. Your buddy's already dead. I think I was really excited to write this chapter. There are so many grammatical errors. Dethium was an inch away from the spider. It cried some more, and then she cut its head off. She dusted her hands off, then collected her daggers and walked back to the group. Their mouths had dropped to the ground, except for Xanna's because she was still traumatized. Dethium smiled when she got back to her spot in the group, and everyone was staring at her. It was silent for a moment. Makoki broke that silence. Damn, bitch. You're hardcore. The others nodded in agreement. Dethium smiled, not caring that Makoki had called her a bitch. I agree with the cow. She is one hardcore bitch. I swear, if I had my own body, I'd ask her for an autograph, Izzy told Xanna. She still didn't say anything. Izzy put her hands on her hips. How rude. How rude that you were paralyzed with fear and trauma, that you can't respond to me having a lesbian crush. How rude. Next scene. Cosmo tapped Xanna's shoulder again. Son, you can stop breathing again. The spiders are dead. Xanna's ear twitched. No, they're not. Cosmo tilted his head at his friend. Yes, they are. Xanna took his head and forced him to look to their left. More spiders had come. Oh, crap. The whole group looked around. Spiders were everywhere. Dethium just smiled and pulled out her daggers again. It must be Christmas and somebody didn't tell me. It's December while I'm recording this. The spiders began to surround the group. Xanna wanted to scream and then pass out, but they were in Duskwood, so she couldn't scream. She just passed out. Great! It's Ghostlands all over again. Next scene. Somewhere nearby, there was someone watching Xanna and her friends. Two someones. One of them tried to walk out into the middle of the road. The other stopped her. No, Seda, we can't. Seda looked up at him with big tear-filled eyes. But Lewis looked at his lovely Seda, then at the people in the road, and back at Seda. She looked just like her. They looked so much alike they were almost twins. Same skin tone, same figure and physique. They seemed to have the same everything except for their eyes, hair, and height. Seda was about 3 inches taller than her, and her hair was shorter and a little bit covered her right eye. And Seda's eyes were green, hers weren't. She'd gotten her eyes from him. I'm sorry, Seda, but we can't. It's not the right time. Seda looked up at Lewis, her eyes still filled with tears. She looked at the road, then back at Lewis. She kind of looked like him. If people saw them together, they would be able to tell she was his. Sure, she didn't get his 7 foot and 1 inch height, or his purple skin, and she didn't have his little scruffy beard, although Seda didn't think she would want that. But if you looked at their faces, you could tell. She had his eyes, his chin, she probably had a smile, and she wore her hair in an upwards ponytail like he did. Seda frowned because she wanted all of them to be together. First she lost their other child, and then, because they were on the run, she had to lose her too. It made her feel like crying, but she knew she couldn't. If she did, the people out in the road might hear her. Seda leaned on Lewis's stomach. She couldn't really lean on his chest because he was tall and she was short, being 5 feet and 5 inches in all. Lewis held her and rubbed the back of her head. We will be together again someday, Seda. Seda didn't say anything. She was afraid she would start crying if she did. Damn you, Elros. Damn you to hell. Because head hopping and anime drama, I was just making this shit up as I went along. Next scene. Cosmo looked at his unconscious friend, then he glared at Akazil. What? Cosmo pointed a finger at him. You're her boyfriend. Do something to get her out of this mess now! I'm not her boyfriend! I don't give a shit! Get her out of here now! Cosmo yelled in his most absolute Karen hairdo, grabbing Oxel's collar with both of his hands and shaking him. Oxel grabbed Cosmo's hands to get him to stop shaking him. Alright! I'll get us out of here. I don't care if you get them out of here. I just want her to be safe. And I swear, if she dies... Oxel took Cosmo's hands off. Chill out! She's not gonna die! Oxel gave Cosmo a serious look. I promise. Ah, shut up, you idiots! Damn, I hate not having my own body! Izzy yelled in Xanna's mind. She hated feeling so helpless. Oxel turned away from Cosmo to give out orders to the group. Deathium! He yelled, but she was already taking on 5 of the spiders. You keep doing what you're doing. Oxel turned to the others. Makoki! Gizzy! Both shamans stood at attention. Oxel pointed at Makoki. You fight! He pointed at Gishpek. You heal! After receiving their orders, Makoki and Gishpek fought along with Deathium. Moxa, summon your imp and help! But I'm only a level 5. I'm not gonna do any damage. I don't care. Just fight, Oxel ordered. Moxa began to summon his imp to help fight. Damn, I hate the wait. Oxel stood next to Moxa as he summoned his imp to make sure the casting wouldn't be interrupted. Cosmo and Mittens ran next to Xanna to make sure the spiders didn't carry her away. He shook her a little to wake her up. Please, please, please wake up, Xanna.